You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying. 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. Oh, look, another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of magic.
So y'all, the way I like this episode though, the way I like this, I enjoyed this episode down. Like, go help me enjoy an episode, 7 episodes in. Like, the tempo of this episode, we should have been here the entire time. Welcome to this good old Grotesquerie Live. If you're here, hit the like button. If you've been here, you already know what to do. Not only hit that like button, send us a super chat. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us how you felt about this episode, because just because I liked it doesn't mean you guys did. Of course, I'm not only streaming on my platform, but the girls, the guests in the back. Okay, I'm going to bring you out first, because I want to know your thoughts, because I love this episode down. I got my life. Okay, how did you feel about this episode? No.
I felt like I already knew what was going to happen. I was not thrilled. Actually, I actually did enjoy Courtney B. Vance, because we saw him do more than lay in that hospital bed. Okay, we finally got to see him come out in his acting bag. But other than that, I'm like, oh, what a surprise! She woke up in the hospital, just like I said, like Dorothy from Oz, and everybody's faces is familiar. Wow. No, they could have did something better.
I mean, Kay, I don't know. I guess I wasn't worried about that, because we already kind of knew where we were going. A lot of the stuff we've gotten right as far as the direction of what might have been going on with Lois.
I wanted to be wrong.
But still, aside from that, I really enjoyed this episode immensely. Ashley, with a sweet perspective, did you like this episode?
Baby, it's sweet over here. And if y'all watched my recap that I posted like 30 minutes before we came live, you will know. I said, I don't know if I've been indoctrinated. I don't know if I've drank the Ryan Murphy Kool-Aid, but this episode did it for me. I don't know if it's because we are now grounded safely and firmly in some sort of reality, or if it was Courtney B. Vance cussing everybody out. I got my entire life this episode from Niecy or Lois, excuse me, sitting in there telling Travis I'm the baddest bee to Merritt being a diabolical wench in real life. I loved it. I really did. It gave me everything I needed. And I don't even care that we predicted most of this stuff
Yeah.
before. I think that this was executed and finally things are starting to make sense. I enjoyed it.
Baby, we already have 50 people here, and all 50 of you, because you know y'all OG triple OGs at this point, y'all know what to do. Let's, because I want to know the opinion before we jump just all the way directly in. We kind of already know, but did this episode maybe just a little bit make it all worth it for you, Kay?
No, because we predicted it. I needed to see something. I needed to see something different. I will say, what made this episode was the casting.
Mm-hmm.
If there were bad actors, I would have threw the whole show away. But Niecy Nash did her thing in this episode. Courtney V. Vance did his thing. Them two carried this episode. They really said, we gonna act for you on episode 7. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do. So the acting and performances is actually what really stood out in this episode more than it did the rest of the season. But was the payoff there? Not really, because I knew that anyway. I need something. They better trick me and make me think that she woke up and that she's awake, and then I want to find out in season 10 that was just another one of her unconscious dreams, and then she gonna wake up again. Trick me. But Ryan Murphy, his plot twists are so predictable. I've been watching Ryan Murphy for years, so this plot twist, I was just like, I seen it coming.
I mean, I can't say I didn't mind the tempo of this episode. Niecy Nash, the fight in the conversation in the kitchen, maybe was acting down. Courtney B. Vance was a whole riot this episode. This just, I don't know. It didn't make it all worth it, but I wasn't mad at it. I just wish we got here sooner. Ashley, did this maybe sort of make it worth it for you?
No, the trauma that Ryan Murphy put me through in the first 6 episodes, there's nothing he could do that would take that pain away. However, Nurse Red on her OnlyFans doing her dance, shaking a little thigh. Listen, it entertained me thoroughly. I'm not mad. And Kay, it's still early. This is only episode 7. We have 3 whole episodes for him to pull out something else out of his bag. So don't write it off just yet. But this gave me hope for the future. It didn't take away the pain of the past, but it gave me hope for a future.
I mean, yeah, it's just not the pain of the past, child, because we've been suffering for 6 episodes, child. The way, because I had Fast Eddie in my mouth, and I'm the baddest. Like, what?
The baddest beat.
What are we,
okay, Trina?
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This child. It was so much said and squeezed into every ounce of every scene. Like, we talk about her being casted. We're casted in a ton of trauma, and we're moving into this, gated community because we're a couple now. And Niecy's like a couple of what? Lois said, y'all a couple of whats. When Lois asks, do you like lifting her fold, finding that hidden pink hole? The way I fell out.
I watched things 2 times, so I really had to sit. I literally had to sit with the second time when she was going. I said, "This is your daughter. Did she ripping apart?"
The way I fell out, you going through those acres of when she said her blood was syrup. Like, girl, I fell out. I'm sorry. They're a couple now. Fast Eddie, as we predicted. I's married now. Like, when we're together, and since we're together and we're okay, ready to face this world head on in our gated community, we want to get you some help, Mom. Get you to some AA. I mean, AA one. I remember you flirting with me. Remember that? Let's tie it. I love that because remember when that scene happened, I was like, Lois, I don't think this is what that was, baby. I don't see Fast Eddie flirting with you in any way. This was, some help. He was trying to do a little offering. Sis, I see you struggling. It's alcoholism. You need to go to this AA meeting. There was no flirting. But everybody's lost. Y'all all some ill-fated lost causes. I wanted all of y'all to be built up, to be strong, like me. Be here, lean, like when I needed you. But everybody's just weak. And when she left out of there and shattered glasses and threw all of whatever paperwork, her jacket, I was like, what the hell is going on? But I was here for it. This was hilarious. I'm sorry. Ashley.
Baby, the yeasty folds, the yeasty rashes, the acres of flesh, her pudendum. I said, listen, you're cutting up and I got everything. Listen, she said, I had you, Fast Eddie. I gaslight a Black woman. I know I'm the baddest. Like, what you're not going to do is pretend I'm not that girl. Baby, down in the whiskey every chance she got. Mama, don't do this. Don't do this. Baby, it's done. It's done. Because what you gonna do, Fast Eddie? What you gonna do? You were my man. Remember that date? That was the worst date of my life, ma'am. It's not a date. Don't do this here.
Oh Lord.
I got everything. I mean, this gave me everything I needed. The level of delusion. This is what kind of sends you over the edge, right? You're like, okay, this has gotta be for kicks and giggles. This is a game. This is a game. And not that moving to the gated community behind the gated doors. He said, what you gonna help her eat? You gonna help her eat? And that's why your daddy was a fornicator and an adulterer sleeping with the students. I said, well, how did he get in it? In Kay's words, how did he get
it?
Catching strays in a coma? Leave the daddy out of this. Leave my daddy out of this.
Kay, did this like run you up a wall, or were you still sitting like, what the hell is this, Ryan?
This episode, he abandoned the whole horror element. Okay, he said, "I'm gonna give you a different series." He didn't even try. Wasn't nothing menacing and creepy and eerie in this episode at all. He made a ratchet show with this one. This is probably why people. This was a whole episode full of ratchetness, and the way she laid into her own child, like she had built up resentment for years to lash out at her daughter, the one that she's been, and even though all this is going on in her mind, so she got, I feel like subconsciously this is how she really feel. The one that you've been feeding all this time, feeding and letting her wear them two little clothes, and then as soon as she get her a little piece of man, you unload. Like she fired shots and kept firing them like an automatic weapon firing shots. Like she couldn't even let him get a word in. Like, girl, that's your child.
Well, how did you feel about you guys are ill prepared for the world and the new world order? Things are about to happen and y'all not ready. Y'all weak. Like, what was that?
That is her and her alcoholism trying to bring people, because it's like, in a way, she knows that this is a world that she's constructed. And of course, no, they're not going to be ready for the world that she constructed, because none of this is real. Like you want them to get ready for the world that you set up for them. You're telling them to get ready for what, Lois? Only thing to get ready for you to pass away, to get ready for you to keep drinking. At this point, all of this was like a drunken rant.
Child, Lois liver looked like a mandarin orange at this point, because it's got to be shriveled up. She be throwing them drinks back. Shout out to the 65 people here in this live. Please keep hitting that like button. Yeah, like this had me cackling. I was like, this is how we starting off the episode? And then, it just keeps going. Living large and taking charge, big boy. Lois kicked them feet up on his desk, y'all. Nurse Red is unhinged, and I love it in the best way, because she fluctuates between which, personality she's going to give Lois. Because we come in here, this nurse, this alcoholic, this deranged alcoholic, she's out again. Like, lock her up. She doesn't know what she's talking about. No, you shut up. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I almost let you get to me. We coming in here and we're cutting this plug for good. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to sign? He needs to go. Like, when we did this, and she got those red vines, like, oh yes, give me some red. Give me a good licorice. This is a party. I need some candy. He's out of here. When we actually got to cutting the plug, and the pork chops cat and lobster cream sauce. He loved all that. And you. Never loved me like that, though. I'm over it. Let's get this over with. When she said, "Welp," and threw that book of poems on his chest. I'm sorry, y'all. This was just so funny. The way she read that poem, like it was a Dr. Seuss book, like The Cat in the Hat lays flat. She just did not care. Meanwhile, old Nurse Red over there, she's heartbroken. Not my man, not my Marshall, and I have to unplug him. And this is just what it is. But as she is reading this poem and sending him off the right way with some whiskey, we also, pan over to my man, and they're in darkness, left with their vices. She's having, her second and third plate of food, and Fast Eddie has a drink. Ashley, did you laugh? Because I did. Ashley is muted, per usual.
Girl, I haven't been muted in a long time. But no, the way she said, "Is it over? Like, is he ready yet? Like, it's time. I'm still gotta read this Emily Dickinson. Like, is it done? Go on and get him. Go on and get him. All right, bud. It's been real. Let's take a shot. All right." It's what needed to happen, and the idea that this is kind of mirroring what's happening real time in real life, I thought was chef's kiss. Again, Kay saying it wasn't horror. This is horror, though. I mean, can you imagine being somewhat, you're awake on the inside, but you're in a vegetative state to everyone else, and people are making threats and drinking over your body and throwing a party because they're about to pull the plug on you. You can hear everything. That's horrific to me. That horrifies me. That would scare me. Nurse Red, seeing her grieve, it just but not first she going in there and talking to the doctor. Yes, your nurse is screwing my husband. She screwed my husband. And now I want to pull the plug. Ma'am, do you want to take a moment? No, I don't. Do it now. When can we do it? Can we do it right now? All right, line up the liquor. He'll have his poetry. He'll have his whiskey, and it's a good send off. And then she says, "All's forgiven, buddy. All right." It's been real, and walks out. I adored it. It speaks to who Lois was. It has been this entire time. It's her world. It's all about her, and she don't give a damn about that man.
Challenge, speaking to this marriage, the fact that, of course, if we are back to reality, the fact that y'all could both be just as conniving towards each other in your conditions in these alternate realities, and you're like, this is a diabolical marriage. Six stuff. Kay, how did you feel about this?
I ain't seen two people hate each other so much since Martin and Pam. I said, what kind of marriage is this? Y'all can't stand each other. And rightfully so. She's unconscious and wishing death upon him. And really he's in the real world waiting to unplug her. I'm like, did y'all like each other at any point? Because the way y'all was ready to pull the plug on each other, like this was a celebration of death, if any. You know how they say funerals are supposed to be a celebration of life? This was a celebration. Like she couldn't wait to get rid of him. And she wanted to get rid of him in a way to say, I'm going to get rid of you and your mistress is going to see it. And it's going to be legal. Like, I'm going to off you legally. Out of here, buddy. Let's celebrate. Pour the drinks.
Child, she said, well, I feel so sorry, but I feel sorry for you. Like, what? This is all I got for you. What do you want? I don't care. How do you feel, Lois? I feel relieved.
Get him out of here.
She left out of there skipping. Say, wow.
I had the best sleep ever. I had the best sleep I've ever had.
Best sleep she ever had. But in having, the best sleep she ever had, we still get further into Lois's mind. This is all in her head, all of these clues. Like, why is the respirator over there? What use was that for? We have all the cases, every little inkling of what could have happened with this case. Father Charlie, who we, conveniently didn't see, because I just knew he was going to open up with the interrogation scene, and everybody was going on and on about that mask and who was under there and who wouldn't, and it wasn't Father Charlie, and it was. We didn't start there. But we do see a article. It's like the killer has been caught. It was him. Mm-hmm. But we go and we're going over these clues, but all of these are things that are strategically placed throughout Lois's life. And it's like they just all happen to be here. Ashley, how did you feel about these clues?
Well, I mean, it was, again, we already knew it was her. So it says her organs will no longer be viable. her, we need to pull the plug for her. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
girl, we know it's you. And then why would he, again, Father Charlie wasn't thinking about you, girl. He wasn't studying you. And so again, this idea that this all revolved around her and her great detective skills, her top cop skills, delusion, full on delusion. And then I think after moving through here, it's like, wake up.
Mhm.
Wake up. So yeah, I mean, this didn't really give anything to me. It was all rehashing what we had already seen, his plans for the setup. They said, well, this is a museum of death.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's exactly what it was. And again, so random that her life support orders or her advance directive is here in the middle of all this foolishness. Like,
Everything.
come on, girl. The world's a knife.
Everything. Can I ask you something different? Like, could Ryan Murphy just be that off-centered? No, who genuinely was surprised by any of this? I think any random watcher could tell what was going on with Lois this entire time. Was it supposed to be a surprise, Kay?
I
Was it?
I don't know if he wanted this to be a surprise. Maybe he did. Maybe he wanted us to know something was up with her, but I don't know if he wanted I don't think that he wanted us to know that was the one that's in the hospital. I think he wanted us to know that something was going on with her. I don't know. At this point, I think he's doing a lot of lazy writing. So maybe he said, "Oh, this is a plot. We've seen this before, right? He better come with something before the end of the season."
Gotta do something. Got that life support machine in the closet. Why is it in the closet?
But I dig the symbolism in it, right? Because it all does make sense if you think about it. If you think about how we see Father Freak Daddy is the doctor who's going to be taking her life, and in her mind,
Yeah.
that is the serial unaliver. So
Mhm.
then, in the context of that, it does make sense that her advance directive to take her out would be there, right? Because he is, and the machine in the closet. Because why is the life support
Yeah,
in the
every
closet, sir?
single ounce of context is here, especially in this room. The journey was trash.
But
There
maybe
had
this
to
would be
be
more.
there better be something because it just didn't. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode, but collectively, it just feels like we've been wasting time, or we could have spun different narratives or spent time elsewhere. Maybe if we weren't so heavy-handed with the fact that this was fantasy and this was in her mind, and we could have genuinely been surprised if he could have lent a little bit more reality to this. This has been surreal the whole time. It never felt like real life. So none of this is surprising. I think that's what makes it draining. And it's just like, oh, really? This is what it was all along. Lois is in a coma. So it just it taints the episode a little bit. But yeah,
And it
That's
makes
even
me
really the
mad that
case.
we had to sit through Mr. Super Freak and his freaky stuff because none of it was real. If it wasn't real, Ryan, why did we need that?
he wanted it there because he
But what if the real world isn't real either, guys? Like, what if
It
what if
better
what
not
we're
be.
seeing now is not real either, though?
It better not. I hope it's
I'm
not
just
real. I
saying.
hope it's
the
like
only
her being
reason
limbo.
I'm not giving 100% to that world being real is because Courtney B. Vance and that theatrical animated esque music that started when he was trying to tell everybody that they couldn't see her. I was like, where did that score come from? What is that? What is this? What's the score in the background? It felt like the fakest situation. So I was like, is this even real? Like, whatever, Ryan. We can hear. She's good. She's fine. Her life was so in jeopardy. We could have lost Sister Megan, but she's here. She pulled through. And we're getting into the crimes committed. Maybe these were a godsend. Do you know how many people are now flocking to the word, flocking back to this church just for that publication? And just because Father Charlie is no longer here doesn't mean that it needs to stop. Megan is more than happy to take over, and she wants full autonomy. Ashley, was this her plan the entire time?
We know it was her plan. It was her and damn Father Freak Daddy's sick plan. And the fact that the diocese, the other priests in charge, were like, that's kind of like what Jesus did. Shut the hell up and get out of here. Ryan Murphy's so disrespectful, and so are his writers. But yeah, that this was the ultimate mission, and I think she's more nefarious than Father Freak Daddy. You know what I mean? I honestly do. It was all about power. And if we correlate it to real life, what's supposed to be real, it's the same thing. This was Lois's biggest op which is why we see this drawn out big battle, even worse than Grotesquerie, right? Is embodied here because she's vying for power. She wants to be at the head of the class. So, I mean, it makes sense.
It do, but it don't at the same time, because what we could, like, for this type of premise and how heavy-handed he was that this was fake, we should have been here at least episode 4. And there should have been like more, of something to look forward to with the remaining episodes. This is late in the game. Kay, how did you feel about Sister Megan?
By this time, I didn't even care, because at this point, when we know that it's not real, I don't care. It don't even matter. And why she wait till the very end to start putting up makeup in the fantasy land? She was barefaced the whole time, but right there at the end, she decides to put on some makeup so that she can.
In reality, you harlot. We always knew you wanted some red bottom. We're getting closer and closer to the heart of things. So it was peeking through. We need this full face of makeup.
Because I'm like, why does she look different this episode for no reason?
And this is when I was like, all right, now y'all dragging it. Y'all dragging it. Like when she yelled, wake up, like this was school days. So if y'all don't come on, if y'all do not come on, we're going, to this good old celebration. By this time, I think Lois has got a phone call, some things from the governor. Like, you just done such a wonderful job, taking down this grotesquerie. Oh, this is a celebratory thing. I'm being honored. Well, you know what? I might want to stay on the force and go back and look. No, you need to go. Artificial intelligence and then some is taking over. This is not a request. It's time to resign. Matter of fact, you need to wake up. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
This is so inappropriate. This is so gauche. We don't celebrate after a crime like this is committed. Girl, shut up. Shut up. The biggest surprise in this whole thing, the biggest upset, is the fact that she really was a detective in real life. Because I don't believe it. None of how she moves in the delusion would give me any inclination that she really had a career in law enforcement. And so going in here, you can tell it's not that. Girl, you're a detective. You know they ain't celebrating you winning the case. And so when she goes in there and she's like, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. What? You need me. You need a human. You need me. I'm the one who does X work. It just goes into this Lois thing. Everything's about her, a hyper inflated sense of self, kind of megalomaniac vibes. It's really interesting to see her character, because it's like, how can you be so self-aggrandizing and yet so terrible to the rest of it? I mean, terrible to yourself and your liver, clearly, but then also to everyone else. Lois's character is
But yeah, Lois is a choice. Everybody on this show is a choice. Okay, should she have woken up a long time ago? Would that have saved some of this for you?
It would have, because we dragging out of fantasy land at this point. You're building a story, and then when she wakes up and it's just like, oh, this looks like the thing that was in my dream. Okay, then we could have ended the dream, the you being unconscious sooner to get to the real part of it. It's just like why do we need all of this information? Ain't none of it real.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is an episode 3-4. If I ever seen one. This is a choice. That means, and I'm hoping that must mean that episode 8, 9, and 10 are superb. They have to be like a piece of resistance. Like, oh, I'm finna finish this off with a bow on it. This is gonna make this all worth it, because now she's awake. Then if this is reality, what are we gonna do now? It has to be good. Like, I am interested to see where we go from this, because y'all have been milking this fantasy in this comatose state for quite some time. What's gonna happen when she get up, besides cussing out Courtney B. Vance's character? Now look at here. I love this scene in the kitchen. Sister Megan was acting down when she called her a freaking, what did she call her? She called her a Disney character. with a hint of something else. I was like, that's right on the money. That's exactly who Sister Megan is. But yeah, I was like, where are we going with this? Clearly, Lois is smarter than the average bear. She must know that this woman's going to come at her. It's only the two of them in this house, and we're about to fight to the death. We're getting into, red bottoms, bloody shoes, and of course, what we already knew, Sister Megan being the accomplice. Like, I was wishing that wouldn't be the thing, because we knew that, like, at the beginning, episode 1, because it's like, It was just so close. But we get into this master plan of who Megan truly is, and the lust or the connection that she has with Father Charlie, and why they have been doing what they've been doing this entire time, and why you aren't as bright as you thought you were, because I figured it out. And we battle in this kitchen, and I mean battle. It was great. Love when she threw the pot on her. It was everything. Ashley.
Maybe she sizzled her face off. I said, not her using the stew. I guess you got to use whatever you can use. I was absolutely here for the fight scene. These is red bottoms. These is bloody shoes that you can't walk in. And I loved
Girl.
especially that last line, because I was thinking it the whole time. Like, why does Heifer got these shoes on? She can't walk in. I said, she going to break her ankle in here fooling around. And then when she's confronted, here's the thing. Again, as a detective, you would never turn your back on somebody who you
Girl.
know is a killer dilla. You know what I'm saying? And then the way you didn't put any space between you and Sister Mary Clarence, I said she must have just not counted Little Pipsqueak. But Little Pipsqueaks be moving. They have to learn to fight young.
Has been helping. Like she said, he couldn't do all the heavy lifting and the sewing. Father Charlie is a lot of things, but he isn't, the most brightest. You're, a lot of the mastermind. You have a hand in it. Like, I don't know why she would when she started speaking in tongues, I would have popped off, because what?
Girl, slice her throat right then. Because what are we playing around with you for? And why you got the blicky at every other moment, ready to fire, and this time it's in your purse across the street in the kitchen. Like, come on, Lois, we got to do better. But Sister Mary Clarence did act down. I loved her response. Like, who, me? Oh my goodness. But then here's what got me. Lois saying you were at every crime scene, girl, because you told her about every crime scene. You called her on the phone and gave her the notice on every crime scene. You gave her all the details, the behind the scenes files. You did that, Lois. You did that, Lois. But no, the fight scene was epic. I loved it because she gonna keep that cigarette and she gonna keep some liquor. And even Sister Mary Clarence had her glass of liquor, like, oh, everything's great. And then it's like this switch flips. And then we see the psychopath that we know has been there from the beginning. I actually do hope we get to go back and see how she and Father Freak Daddy came up with their plans at least one time. I do want to see that, because I'm curious about what the real dynamic was, because I don't necessarily think the dynamic we saw between Sister Mary Clarence and Father Freak Daddy was what it really would have been. You know what I mean? I hope, even though it's all a delusion, again, everything's a dream, I still would like to see how they execute.
I ain't never seen nobody dip a carrot in mayonnaise. Where? What they do that? People eat
it? Was that Marie's ranch? I thought it was the ranch in the jar.
I thought that was mayonnaise.
I pray to God. No.
I ain't never seen no ranch in a jar.
Yeah, the Marie's ranch comes in a jar like that.
Look at your fancy pants. I ain't never seen it. That was mayo. I don't care. Christ on the cracker, Kay. How did you feel about this scene?
It made me think of Kill Bill, actually, with them going at each other's throat. And it was in being very violent and bloody the way that it was. So very Kill Bill. The monologue, although it was a very good read, it was too long, and then I spaced out during most of it until they got to fighting.
Okay.
I just want to know how strong the hatred is for this to be the showdown, for this to be your big bad. Like, this was their showdown. That means in reality, she's what to you? Because the whole, like, oh, she couldn't stand you, and we figure out, in reality, she wasn't op. She was trying to take her down, take the job. Every little infraction, you had something to say. But like this is a new level. Like, when she started stepping, I was like, oh my goodness, what kind of plex did this woman have towards you? If it's just all mal, like, yeah, she was trying to take my job. Like, this is trying to take, this is that type of energy. All right, we will see, but this is everything. You see this scene, like when she yelled blasphemy, I said, girl, I ran it back. I was like, girl, do that again. Do that again when she yelled blasphemy. It was beautiful. I love every bit of this. I love this versus them singing Superstar in the car. Got me wasting time all over there in the desert. Oh, Lord. Wait.
You recovered quick. And it's awfully interesting. He didn't nick any major arteries. Girl, shut up.
We wasted so much time. We was rolling, cruising in the desert. For what? At the Roach Motel. For what? With the purple pool. For what? Like, we wasted so much time. That's fine. We're here. We can't go back. We can't go back. It's a lot to bear. Child, Fast Eddie with the mullet. I feel like he gotta have a mullet. Good sex, curing cancer, and a piece of a man. No, we get, Shawshanked in that kitchen. We get stabbed, and then we get here, and we're back to reality in this restaurant with Courtney now. And Merritt is every bit of a successful Black woman. I'm here with my good job, curing, finding cures for cancer. I'm educated. I have umpteen degrees. Yet and still, my husband, old Fast Eddie, works in the mall at the local Cinnabon. I could have done better. Matter of fact, Dad, you know what? It's just as long as we hear, he's been effing Mom for like 2 years. And we get into Fast Eddie's background and where he came from, a bunch of nothing. But this is when I was like, what? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Even this didn't look 100%. Like, these look like caricatures. So I couldn't even just be like, all right, we're back in the real world. This is really Merritt. This is really Eddie. And this is really Marshall. Are we sure about that, Ashley?
No, and the lighting is still off. I want to assume that the tone in terms of how they're lighting the show will change when we really get to reality. There's still this kind of sepia thing going on, and I've noticed that through all of the scenes before, which kind of indicates to me if it's real or not. But we'll see, because I mean that just could be the aesthetic of the cinematographer. But no, this is a mess. Because what happened to the black wife effect? There's no way you've been married to Fast Eddie this long and he still looked like a homosexual. Come on, girl. If you a doctorate and all that, baby, he looked better than that. He look how he look in the delusion. If you all that you say that you are, sis, because ain't no way you looking at that man every day. And when and when Marshall goes, so he's cheating. It's cheating. She said, no, I'd be fine with that because there's one body in my lab that I want to.
I swallow him whole. I put him in my mouth. He been in my mouth.
That's what she said. And when it comes out, baby, that Lois been smashing this man for 2 years. Marshall said, all right, bet. It's up and it's stuck now. I'm going to get it back in blood every single second of it. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed finally seeing Merritt realized more as a character. But I still want to know... And again, I guess we're looking at it from the perspective of Lois's psyche. And so this is how she sees her child, just as gluttonous. She doesn't see the accomplishments. She doesn't see the doctorates. And we later discover that Merritt's been trying her whole life just to be something more to her mother. So I do think it's interesting. I also think it's interesting how in the delusion, he's denying the affair, right? But in this instance, Fast Eddie was in love with Lois, baby. Look at him. He said, I never had a family. I was raised in foster care. And your mom, Lois.
But there you go with the sad, sap ass stories. Don't nobody care about that. You're still working at Cinnabon. Like,
in the mall. Lord, that's what she big now. The working at Cinnabon, bringing home Cinnabons.
The mullet just felt like a dead give. I'm like, okay, this isn't real. Like, why are we still the mullet? And even if this isn't that, I feel like we spent way too much time being heavy-handed with the gluttony on Raven Goodwin's part. We didn't have to do all of that. Kay, is this real? And how did you feel about this thing?
I hope that this is another state of Lois and being in purgatory. Because why did the successful Black woman have to have a bum? Like, that's all she can get. All the degrees in education, and this is what we got. And yet, not only this is what she got, this is also what her mom chose as her side piece. I said, what in the August Alsina is going on? And then Courtney just lightly, see, when he got up and drove off, I said, yep, he going right on to the hospital. He ain't say nothing. He said, I ain't gonna act a fool, because see, what I can do is just go ahead and go on and pull that plug. That was it for me. He said, that's all I needed to hear to make the decision that I've been wanting to do all this time.
Okay, even now in this moment, reality or not, we are instantly like, oh, Lois has been trashed this entire time. How dare you cheat, but then you cheat on me with our son-in-law? This is absolutely disgusting. But then we flip it and you've been with whoever, whenever you wanted to, along with Nurse Ratchet for 6 years.
Both of them. Trash. Horrible people.
Shout out to the people in here. Let me show y'all some love. Make sure you show us some love here in this chat. Make sure you are super chatting and discussing your theories down there so we can bring them up and discuss them here before we get out of here towards the end. Thank you. We love a good 100 people. We would love 100 more. You guys hit that like button, and I will be right back.
Where she wanna be, call me Freaky T. Off the leash, I feel like a dog. I get her the free. Never needed you, but you needed me. I got clean, make up baby clean. Lose your self-esteem. I get touched in the morning, so I feel like baby king. Was it good? Step outside, so I just like baby king. Cause I'm cool, cause he does it. Where she wanna be, call me Freaky T. Off the leash, I feel like a dog. I get her the free. Never needed you, but you needed me. I got clean, make up baby clean. Lose your self-esteem. I get touched in the morning, so I feel like baby king. Was it good? Step outside, so I just like baby king. Cause I'm cool, cause he never needed you, but you needed me. I got clean, make up baby clean. Lose your self-esteem. I get touched in the.
Thank you. Yeah, this can't be real. Like, it can't. Yeah, this doom and gloom lighting on the show. Yeah, this is I'm still sticking to them 7 circles of hell, because what's going on here? This can't be reality. And even though we do try to make it make sense and have this be Marsha's reality in this state of Lois, we're comatose and we're snatching these peonies. You don't deserve no flowers. When he snatched them flowers and threw them in the trash, we see this nurse here with that same, hairstyle as Little Miss Red, but it's an elderly woman. I'm the only one that gets to be an adulterer around here. Pull the plug, Doc, and donate her to science afterwards. I don't care. Ashley.
I'm the only sinner in this house. That's what Tina Mama said. And I guess that's how he felt too. But the level of, I don't know. And people hate when women say this. But baby, men can't take what a woman does. I promise you they can't. They can't take their behavior demonstrated in a woman. This is a prime example. He's been cheating on this woman for 6 years. He find out that she's been cheating or longer. And with students and with whoever else, because she says that he is a predator. He is an infidel. She says all those things about him. But the idea that she had an affair with somebody for 2 years, it's done now. I loved you before. I was coming here rubbing your thighs in between your legs. I was rubbing your earlobes. I was with your fingertips. I was doing all that with the Vaseline. So you wouldn't get that. So listen, and this is what I got to come to. And why did Merritt find it necessary to make the confession now to her father? I just wondered. That was curious to me. But yeah, this was hilarious. When he grabbed the peonies, I said, yeah, it's up in his
Throw them in the garbage, girl.
Yeah. I said, you're not even going to take them and give them to nobody else? He said, no, I'm throwing them in the trash can. He said, and I hope you in there. They say there could be an ember or a sliver of you still in there. I hope you are, and I hope you're afraid. Be very afraid. Doc, pull the plug. When can we do it? 10 a.m. tomorrow? All right, I'll be there on the dot. Sir, you don't want to talk to nobody? Nope, I'm good to go. Let's do it. Let's cut her off. Let's kill her. I got everything I need. Again, Courtney B. Vance showed his behind, and I absolutely was here for it. We needed him. It's a travesty. We haven't seen him before now.
Girl, 6 years in an abundance of freshmen. The hypocrisy. Nurse Red said she said, get it sexy. Boy, you know this super fat. I lying. Girl, I said, what did you do? She was like, well, since the club closed down, this is how I got to get my money. I was like, what, the club?
She said the OnlyFans.
It was the fact that, baby, he got to know a whole home. You have a whole apartment, a whole place with this woman. This is where she lives. 6 years. I'm paying for it. This is my place. I support you. I support everything. Yeah, whatever. But how are you going to jump on Lois as if we ain't been doing what we've been doing forever now? Really? All right. I can't even look at you. I'm going. How do you feel about Marshall and the audacity?
When he rolled up to the hospital, in my mind, I kept singing, it ain't nothing to cut that off.
Literally.
Literally cut her off. Because if the disdain, the way he looked at her like, you low down, dirty scoundrel, as if he ain't been doing his dirt too. But now she's but since her dirt topped his, now he's upset about it, and he's just like, that's it. I don't want to no more. I don't wanna. Cut the show. Turn me off. Unplug it. We're done here. I'm ready to move on. She can go. And he literally wants her to just die and burn in hell at this point.
He said it's ancestral. So, well, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like they're related or anything. Like, nurse, if you don't sit down, relax. The sound is off. They can't even hear anything. Like, I said, look, it's too much. Cherry red. I had to get that cherry red on there. I was just really, really cracking up because when it happened and that confession was made at the table, I was like, oh, poor Marshall. I knew Lois was low down, and I knew she had downtrodden. Like, no, you've been cheating and sleeping with your students for years. The marriage is just trash altogether. These people didn't belong together. Poor Merritt. Merritt never stood a chance. Oh, Lord.
Not with these raggedy parents.
Now, baby, we get here. Not Nurse Meg, but now we're the chief. We're the chief, and we are over the Department of Domestic Abuse. Hence, the ladies, all this domestic abuse that has been present in the show, especially the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn Desert episode, and Lois acting sort of vaguely concerned. Well, there's places I can take you to get some help. Well, all right, I tried to help you. I don't know. I can't do nothing else. But there have been complaints about Lois, and people are trying to sue the department, feeling like lives were lost because she didn't do all that she could do. And we're hearing about, pulling plugs, and the chief saying she wants to be there, even though Lois loathed her. Ashley, what did you think about this state of not Nurse Megan, but Sister Megan?
Yeah, Sister Mary Clarence. I mean, I liked seeing her as the chief. It made sense. Like I said, this is all. I mean, it just makes sense. Okay, she was the arch rival or nemesis of Lois. She was vying for Lois's spot. And now she's arrived and she's there, but apparently it was at the cost of Lois and her career and potentially her life. And she feels something there. I don't know if she feels guilt, or what the circumstances of Lois even being in the hospital are. I was under in my mind, back when we were like kind of ideating early, I thought maybe she was drunk driving because we always see that heifer drinking and driving. But what if it was in the line of duty? You know what I mean? And especially if she was trying to serve or save Sister Mary Clarence, it would make sense the animus that she has against her, or maybe something she later discovers or is said around her while she's in this comatose state that makes her angry or tips her off that she's an op. You know what I mean? But I liked seeing her in this role. I liked seeing her try to go to the hospital and make an attempt, but still very much being who she is, right? Because I don't give a damn either. All right, she can sue, but what did she do? Well, she said she called the police department 3 times. Yeah, but she didn't press charges. So, like... so she got what she got. You know what I mean? Let me go check on Lois. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it evolves.
It will. I was looking because I was waiting. I was like, Miss Megan. She has an interesting face. I'll just say that. Kay, how did you feel about seeing Sister Megan as now the chief and the rival of Lois?
It's like I should have known, because like I said, each person that was in her fantasy world is mirroring somebody in real life. And so I think that this is what she saw her as, like somebody portraying to be innocent, but really have a whole lot of power.
And then all of that, she's like me. She was at the library. She's intuitive. You see her? You need to listen to her. She's paying attention. She knows what's going on with the cases. Yeah, this was all not only self-serving, but just her mirroring, or maybe I wanted that chief position, and you got it, and it's just this. I was like, oh, why we got to be right though? Why we have to be right though?
I want you to be working under me, and I'm the boss of you.
I would have preferred if we were wrong and this was something else, but I did have a really good time in this episode. But yeah, Nurse Megan got she bust down. Then we get here when the music and everything swelled, and when he said, "What the hell she need a bath for? She ain't going on no damn date if you don't kill her." I was like, "Wow, Courtney, Marshall, like put her down. We are wasting time as if he had somewhere to be. I need her in the ground, not even in the ground, because we're gonna give her body to science. I need her dead immediately." When old Travis rolled up there, like, "I want to say my goodbyes to Lois," no, call security, somebody get in here and remove this man. She's not gonna see you, and we sure ain't letting this arch nemesis cheap in here. She loathe you. You and your little hobo son-in-law. This is gonna be a moment between myself and my daughter. Even she tries to like stop it. I want to let them in. Like, it's like nobody's getting peace. Lois isn't getting any peace either. She needs to go out of this world the same way she came in, just turmoil. I was like, oh my goodness. Actually,
baby, that deep down resentment will rear its ugly head at the most inopportune times, honey. She said, "It's me. It's me. It'll be me and mom, dad." He said, "Pull the plug."
Pull the plug. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care.
Give a damn. The way he cussed them clean out in the hallway. She didn't even like you, and you get the hell out of here. I said, go off, Marshall. Do your big one. Look at that face. You captured it perfectly. Pull the plug. Merritt said, "Listen." Merritt said, "Listen, Doc, if you pull that plug, this will be negligent homicide." He said, "Father Freak Daddy said, okay.
I don't want them cases. I
don't want that smoke." Listen, I said, "Was it goodbye?" And then we actually do get an emotional monologue from Merritt in this instance. "Mom, I forgive you. All I ever wanted was, to be accepted by you. I know what my therapist says, but I don't care. I'm still going to live the rest of my life to vie for your acceptance," which is heartbreaking and sad, and speaks to her choices in a man, and speaks to her overachieving. And the idea that this is how her mother views her, as just eating hams and steaks and turdunkins. Like, it's Ryan, why did you do this?
Let that turdunkin go, are you?
I'm not.
Or
that honey baked ham with the Grey Poupon. I'm not letting it go. Or the cookie sheeted taquitos. 24 taquitos. I'm just it's not okay. But I did like that she tried to fight for them to see her. Even her raggedy husband, who was smashing her mama again, which doesn't lend itself to you exposing the dad to that, knowing how this would make him feel potentially. I don't know. But yeah, this you said, "What you need a bath for?" That's what we do around here, sir. That's what we do. Just
it's the process. Like, what you have again?
Chop, 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 chop. But again, they all delivered, I think, in this scene. It was enjoyable to watch.
I was happy to see Raven Goodwin. I was happy to see acting happening. I was happy to not see them relegated to him being bedridden and comatose. And you know what Raven been doing this whole time. I was happy for those things. We have a super chat here from Her Real Review. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do you think there is a chance Ryan is pulling a Scrooge Christmas Carol story? And you were there. I hope not. Don't Scrooge, Wizard. Don't do any of that. Like, that would be so lazy. That would be so lazy.
I was so wrong. Oh.
I mean, if
Merry
this was
Christmas, one and all.
To one and all, this was a way of the three ghosts or whatever, present, past, and whatever, coming to visit Lois to get her to have a new trajectory on life. Please don't do that. I really hope he isn't doing that. Kay, do you feel like this might be a Scrooge moment?
It's got because thinking back on Merritt, like, all the stuff that she went through, and she was still able to be like, "But I love her, but that's my mom." No, she's gonna have some kind of animosity and be ill will. Now, Marshall took it above and beyond, because he said, "We ain't even doing a funeral." Y'all, we're gonna pull the plug, and I'm gonna leave her here and go home. I don't want anything else to do with it. But for him to be that through with her, and that extremely through with her, but her daughter to be on the other spectrum, even though she was equally, if not probably worse, treating with her daughter, and for her to try to show her some forgiveness, I think maybe her ascending is like letting her know, like, if you come back, you need to make some better choices. Like you might be getting you. It might be to where I don't know if we gonna take you just yet.
Yeah.
May
mean,
you got an opportunity to do something better.
We had said that, but no.
Listen.
Since we've gone here and we have snatched that reality or what we think might be episode 7, we have to do something else. I mean, we mentioned that with the whole, like, oh, doesn't that look like heaven out there? Well, we're not allowed out there, girl. You're going to hell for how you been out here living. It just the tempos are there for it to be that, but I would prefer that it wasn't. Actually, how you feel about the Lucretia?
Listen. When he said, "Do something with the body," he said, "Go ahead and give the liver to Alcoholics Anonymous. They can put it on the flyer." Listen, the laugh that I laughed, the scream that I scrimped in that moment tickled me beyond. Somebody had mentioned it in the comments earlier that the first account we got was Lois's. This is Marshall's, and maybe the final account will be the truth of it all. And I could be here for that. And I guess that can kind of correlate to Scrooge in that instance. I'd be here for getting finally a real account.
Child, who wanted six episodes of Lois's account? No, nobody asked for that. Thank you, her real review. Like, nobody asked for that. But and I love how reserved Father Charlie is. Like, well, I'm just here. Death is a beautiful thing. I just think of it as a symbol. Shut up, Father Charlie. But we have her just, you know what? You're gonna be this way. You're not gonna let Fast Eddie in here to see the love of his life. Let me just play my mama's song. I'm gonna play her song and I'm gonna pay my respects. And we played the song, and then we snap right back into the beat down. to the fight, and we end up here. Is she still breathing? So this is Lois internally fighting for her life. First off, this was great. All of the effects. I was like, first of all, how is she still moving? Did you hear how many times that knife went through Lois? It was just going.
To gut her like a fish.
It was just going.
She's still kicking.
She's still kicking. Still had enough life to fight. Now she's saying these goodbyes, and Lois begins to lift and ascend. Where's she going? We don't know. But she's going. But as she's dying in this alternate, reality of her, in this state, she's ascending here. Ashley, is she still breathing?
Yeah, that was alive. Go on and drop back down. She was only going to be ascending to drop into hell in the first place. So yeah, now she's just dropped back on the bed, and she'll be alive in this again. If this is a dream and a dream and a dream, because girl, he gave you the injection. Pull the plug. Now your heart want to beat. Maybe it was the words like on Sleeping Beauty, or whenever they kiss you and they do it. Maybe she said, "Mama, I forgive you. I love you," and that gave her the life force to come back. But yeah, that heifer will be alive next time. And whether that's a real, I don't know. But she'll be in a waking state, cussing everybody out probably.
That's not like alive to do what? Because we notice what's gonna happen. Like, oh, you was really gonna pull the plug on me. I wonder.
But maybe she'll be reformed.
Oh,
maybe she will be like Ebenezer Scrooge, and maybe she'll be. I learned from the error of my ways. I was so monstrous. I was damn grotesquerie. Oh my gosh.
But what did you think about before she blew Sister Megan's head off? She called her babe. She said babe, and she blew her head off.
Is that what she said?
That's what she said. I
don't know. I'm curious about whether or not there's a true crime actually happening present day. Because she better not have been having an affair with this Sister Mary Clarence. That would gross me out.
Learn how to walk in heels. See
you next Tuesday.
Yeah. And then she said, babe, and she shot her.
Oh, I must have blocked that part out. I didn't. Lord, I don't know. That's too much.
I didn't. Put it in the chat. Why she call her that? Okay. How did you feel about all of this?
What in the Pixar animation happened when she blasted? Nobody's head just popped.
The Looney Tunes cartoon.
I said, what kind of explosion? It wasn't no bullet wound going through. It just exploded. Like, is that how you really feel about her? Is that what you want? Like, if y'all are y'all really that at each other's throat for this to happen? And she know good and hell well she wasn't ascending nowhere except to get a second chance, because you have not proven yourself to walk through the gates just yet, Lois. Okay,
She was going up. She was ascending up.
She thought, and you gonna go right back on until unless you about to prove yourself worthy, which I highly doubt she will, because I feel like the next time we see her, she gonna have a shot. And a flask tucked into her coat.
Oh, why did she call her babe before she shot her, Kay?
I don't know. Maybe that was just a term of endearment to let her know before I blow your head off, child.
It just felt so random. I read it, but I was like, what? Why? She's like, babe. Pop. Like, okay, well.
But then again, she could have been talking to Marshall at that time. Because we know that wasn't real. We knew. I think that's what I was thinking, that by that time we know it's not real, and she could have been talking to Marshall like you seriously gonna unplug me right now? Like I'm alive still. I'm still here. You really gonna do this to me?
I wonder how long Marshall gave her, because when she gave Marshall 26 days, 27 days, and the plug needed to be pulled. But after she Looney Tunes her, we're here, y'all. If there could
the Wile E. Coyote.
She was. Space Jam? What is happening? Kay, what are your predictions for those next 2 episodes that's gonna drop?
Lois gonna come back like she's on a mission. Like, when people get into the hospital and they've been, pow 9 times like 50 Cent, they think they indestructible now. So she's gonna be walking around with a bulletproof vest on. She's gonna be like, can't nothing hurt me. I can drink all I want to. I can walk into crime scenes because can't nothing hurt me. Okay, y'all had me down. I was in a coma and that ain't even put me down. Like, I'm indestructible. Okay, hit me. It ain't gonna matter. I'm good. Exactly. I think she's gonna think that she's a big bad now and can't nobody touch her.
This picture pissing me off because we was here for what? Ashley, what do you predict for the next couple episodes?
That it'll be a retelling from another perspective. I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get clarity. We may get a little bit of forward movement from the hospital, but I think it'll be linked to another delusion or a situation like that, or it could be just a retelling of the events from a different perspective.
I mean, but it's like, who the main people we've been following would either be Father Charlie, Sister Megan, or Merritt. Like, you're gonna get one of their perspectives,
or more of Marshall's, or Lois's now that she's awoken from this coma. We got 3 more episodes. He gonna fill it up with something.
He better do something, because baby,
Nurse Red gonna tell the story next time.
Oh, we don't want her story either. She did enough with "Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me." We had enough of Cherry Red. We had more than enough of her.
You said, "Okay, Big Red."
Drop y'all predictions down there below. As you can see, a lot happened in this episode and nothing at the same time, because it was just a riot. This was just funny. This was just funny, and it was nice to see Courtney B. Vance running around and not being bedridden. Kay, I'm gonna come to you first. Let the people know what's coming up on your channel. Let the people know what's not grotesquerie over there.
Yes, so non-grotesquerie content right now. I just dropped my review for Alien Romulus. Go and check that out. Also, we watched Mr. Crockett. There's like a panel review. There's another review on there, a solo review from Theories, from Panel. What else is on the channel? Lots of horror stuff. Some horror movie gems. Check the shorts out on the channel. Stay tuned, y'all. Tomorrow, season finale, Reasonable Doubt. It's a lot we gotta talk about. Okay, y'all just come on for Reasonable Doubt, and then stick around because there is going to be an after party. There is going to be a spooky season after party, and I cannot wait.
You heard her. Ashley, let the people know how many videos you did drop in the past couple days.
Don't do that.
I know you got a lot over there. She got an abundance. Like Marshall had an abundance of freshmen. She got an abundance of content. Ashley?
and abundance and overflow. Hallelujah. Okay. No, but you guys, thank you so much for being here. Just please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of those wonderful things to all of these ladies on the panel, and make sure that you have the notification bell selected. I will be dropping Teacup tomorrow. We are wrapping up Reasonable Doubt. I will do a solo review. I've actually already recorded it for the whole entire season. I have Mr. Crockett up from episode 4, Disclaimer, episodes 1 and 2, Sweet Pea, and please go back and run up our Teacup live and reviews for those. I'm excited about all of the content that's coming out. Please make sure again that you're subscribed to everyone and that you have that notification bell hit.
Y'all, the way Teacup is good. The way Teacup is good. Like, I'm ready to go ham on characters, and I just met these people. Teacup is so good. If you're not watching Teacup, please get over there and support that. As Kay stated, tomorrow will be, Reasonable Doubt per usual. But after that, anybody who wants to get into their horror bag and join us for costumes, horror, fun, games, trivia, all things spooky-ooky, come right back and, join us afterwards. I would love to have you guys there. I'm definitely going to take you guys out with the intro for that. And y'all, we have a watch along. Y'all already know how it is. Saturday's coming up. We will be watching Hocus Pocus. If you are not a member, how you gonna be a part of the party and you ain't no member? How you gonna hate from outside the club and you couldn't even get in? You got to become a member to be a part of the watch party. Everybody who is already doing that, thank you. Yeah, we love y'all. But we will definitely see you guys tomorrow and the next day, and the next day, and the next day after that, because we're here all the time. Y'all have a good night.
One of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up.
White shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you. Please, I do what I want when I'm wanting to. So cynical. I'm a bad guy. Duh.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Please, God.